Welcome back to The Arena. Now, this one is really difficult even to discuss. Pedophilia, child rape, sex between grown men, usually men, and children. Repugnant, of course, but there are some people, not always on the fringes, who want to legitimize this horror. Really. Jackie Jeffs is a writer and activist who monitors moral and life issues. Welcome to you.
Thank you, Michael.
I mean, it's a vile subject. I wish we didn't have to discuss this, but most people are good, decent men and women. They don't realize there is an attempt to forget the perverts who undercover do vile things. This is people in the mainstream who want to say that attraction to children is somehow not criminal. It's not even irresponsible. We must understand it. And there was a conference in the US. Was it just recently?
Yeah, August the 17th in Baltimore.
Just a couple of weeks ago in Baltimore.
Just a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
At the university?
At the university, and it was by a group called Before You Act.
So B, the number 4?
Act. And they actually represent what they like to call minor attracted persons.
Minor attracted persons.
Yeah, we would call it pedophiles.
Yeah, criminals.
And basically, I think the idea is to switch the victimization of the children and put it to them, because the conference itself, they were trying to say to people, you know, that the society treats us really badly.
Oh dear. Because
of how we are, and it is how we are. It's not a choice, according to them. And, you know, I guess in the end all it is really is that we have to decide as a society whether we want to protect children or whether we want to protect those that are the predators.
Let's talk about the people who were there, because again, look, there will always be criminals. There will always be murderers and rapists and thugs. There will always be, tragically, people who are aroused by children and will break the law. But there were academics there.
There were researchers from Johns Hopkins University.
Major university.
Yeah, from Harvard, Louisville and Illinois University.
So, Ivy League universities, they're academics, PhDs, professors.
Yes.
But they weren't there to scream and shout. They were there to say, we have to consider this.
They're actually there to challenge society's attitude towards pedophilia. And although my sense of it actually is, Michael, that they're testing the waters.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go back, there's history behind all of this, and it goes back to the Kinsey report. But I think the idea is to get science on their side. Then they can go to those that make public policy, and then we change policy, and then suddenly we all have to be re-educated, actually.
Yeah, we're the strange ones. By the way, the Kinsey report, we will on this show, on The Arena, be talking about that in the future and just what is going on behind the scenes, hoping to educate people.
Good.
In terms of the age, I'm sure you have, I've interviewed police officers who deal with this issue, and they say, look, please don't think this is a 19-year-old girl dressed as a schoolgirl looking. I mean, that is, we're talking about, I don't want to say everything on the show, but babies sometimes.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
What age were they talking about?
Well, actually, it was just what they call prepubescent children, so that's
that could be
under
2,
like 12.
3,
yeah,
4.
It could be. But I know, and I don't want to go into Kinsey, but the fact is that this idea of us being sexual beings from birth is all based on the rape of children that Kinsey did. Children from 1 month old, 4 years old, in the 40s. And that sort of set the scene after his report was accepted. And again, this rubbish science that's taken for something that's brilliant. Public policy changed, and now we're looking at, it's not really whether we should or we shouldn't be having sex with children. It's, you know, whether it's consensual and if it hurts them. And according to the pedophiles at this conference, it can be loving, according to them.
A child can't give consent to anything. A child can't drive a car, can't fight in the army, can't vote. And a child can be, we know from studying pedophiles, they will almost seduce a child, give them toys, pretend they love them. In the end, the child is raped. It has to be
absolutely.
raped. Absolutely. There is such a massive schizophrenia. Quite rightly, the Catholic Church, the tiny number of men in the church who were abusers, and that generally was actually boys of 14, 15 and 16, but we've got to get those people, quite right too. But there's been very little media.
No, nothing.
I wonder, you showed me this, I was incredulous when, this is a child's sexual bill of rights. Point number 7, every child has the right to loving relationships, including sexual, with a parent, sibling or other responsible adult, responsible or child, and shall be protected and aided in doing so by being provided with contraceptives and aids to prevent venereal disease.
Yeah. Well, of course, we have to protect the pedophiles that want to have sex with them, right? We don't want to be spreading diseases to them, so we have to make sure that the children are clean.
Point number 6, children have the right to learn the art of love beginning at any age, able to understand, entitled to learn any other art or skill. Again, what I want to emphasize is the perverts, the filth, they're always going to exist. This conference, these were respected, allegedly respectable academics and professors who teach people at undergraduate and graduate level, and they're saying that it's suburban and it's the frightened people who just say no. There's nothing so much wrong, and they call it intergenerational love. Don't they
do, but again, I mean, the main thing is this minor attracted persons.
Yeah.
I mean, pedophilia, everybody knows that, and most of our hearts just go, you know, to protect our children. But this, the child's sexual rights, that professor taught sex education. That's what he was giving to his students. This is the basis of it. And actually, the United Nations Rights of the Child actually contains some of those.
You mentioned Kinsey, and again, as this show goes on, we're going to be speaking about these issues with experts in the US and elsewhere. Right. They made a movie about this man with Liam Neeson, who actually shame on him for doing it.
Yeah,
we know children were raped.
Yes, we do.
And he was aware of it, didn't stop it, and maybe even encouraged it.
But he took part, is what we're told, if you really go back into
really
most of it. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. If I might, I have this, Michael, I mean, you can read it, or I can just... It tells you the age of some of the children that they actually raped and tortured in this way: 5 months old, 11 months old, 2 years old, 2.5 years old, up to 10, for 1 hour, for 38 minutes. And they had...
They detailed everything here.
1,500 of the folks that carried out his so-called research were criminals or pedophiles. They were given notepads, stopwatches to do this.
Jackie, I mean, I wish I didn't have to, but we will continue to talk about this. We'll have you back on the show if you will come. We'll have other people too, because this is an area where media seem to be too frightened or ill-educated to actually expose the truth. But we will. Thank you so very much indeed.
You're very welcome.